Thank you for joining us for day 2 of the KCIC Climate Summit 2023. I would like to call the CEO of KCIC to usher in our guests.
Yesterday we had most speakers being policy people, basically just laying the groundwork for climate finance. As you know, unless policy is right, then finance doesn't flow, and therefore create the real impact that we are looking for. Thank you very much, and feel welcome.
The summit has provided us with an opportunity to connect enterprises and other key players in the climate sector with potential investors. As you are aware, climate change has emerged as a major global concern due to its impacts on ecosystem causing adverse socio-economic consequences. We require global cooperation among governments, private sector, businesses and communities to apply innovative approaches supported by enhanced climate financing to mitigate climate change effects.
And this calls for joint action to make our societies more sustainable and resilient in the long term. From the European Union side, the green transition is a key priority internally and in our partnerships around the world.
We can feel the pressure that our country is experiencing at this moment economically. How do you create jobs and dignified livelihoods for young Africans at the scale that we need them for our growing population? So how do we do that? I think the answer lies in climate.
Economic development is necessary for African countries. We have young people that need work. Building jobs that are sustainable for the climate, then really we should be focusing on the private sector. And that's why I'm really excited to be at this summit and to see all the different innovations that are coming up.
The Kenya Climate Innovation Center has over a decade been instrumental in supporting MSMEs to build their capacity, support and incubate climate startups and entrepreneurs. So on matters of policy, on matters of legislation, regulation, we are your partners, and I commit we will journey together.
It is key to ensure that you have the right environment to operate in, where you can access the finance you need, tap into the skills required for implementing your green solutions, and you also have a conducive space to learn and grow. I can assure you that we are working with your government on improving the regulatory environment and supporting young entrepreneurs and early-stage businesses.
One of the challenges that we see across the continent is that there's a lot of policy, a lot of very good policy, but implementation, where the rubber meets the road, there's a bit of a challenge. So one of the things that we do at the Global Energy Alliance is market shaping, which is supporting ventures. We provide highly concessional capital that then brings in the private sector capital that is required for us to go from a couple of $1 million to billions of dollars that we actually need to make a difference in the climate space. If you're an investor that's looking for some blended capital to put into a project of a particular size, I'd be interested in hearing from you, because the more we get out here and listen to the ideas, the more then we can help capital flow into those ideas.
We are really delighted to be here this time to partner with KCIC in the area of climate change, because that's one of our intervention areas. So I'm looking to work with all of you that we've met here so that we can amplify our efforts, because jointly we can do a lot more than we can do individually.
The dream is challenging all the young entrepreneurs and all the young people here that we have an investment to make, but you have to sell us an idea of creating a new Kenya that can thrive and prosper despite the challenges of climate change.
Most of the time investors are on the hot seat for seeking returns and whatnot. But if we look at it from a big picture and realize that we all have the same agenda, we're all working towards the same thing, then you'll realize you already have much more that you can contribute to the climate change conversation.
I think it's mainly about knowing the type of investor that you need to target. It's true, we have early stage investors, everything from grants to very friendly money, if I may speak. And then other investors are more of growth or later stage investors. So the trick here is finding the type of investors that are aligned to the business stage your enterprise is at.
KCIC is actually one of the organizations that has adopted those innovative approaches to financing women, to financing youth, and I think that is a milestone. There is achievement in terms of coming out with inclusive policies and making sure that women and youth participate in policy-related conversations around climate change issues, including investment, access to finances.
The people are providing support in terms of capital for the youth-led enterprises. They need to be very innovative. They need to look at what the youth need. How can we be able to use what they have to support them to be able to grow such that they can be able to knock at the doors of PE funds and banks.
Behind every successful business, when you look at it, it started as an idea, but somebody had to put their trust, their belief, and to invest in that idea. And so what we've done at Heifer is look at innovative ways of investing in the youth, because we also know they have challenges, of course, the usual access to finance, and sometimes it's because of credibility, among other things.
We need development and climate change stakeholders in Africa to work together to accelerate towards green growth by mobilizing private sector finance. Summits such as these serve to sound a wake-up call to all of us to focus on how we can enhance green financing for sustainable development.